Crossbone changes are going to have an impact on Act 6, Map 7 AQ and lots more content. The Nova buff doesn't seem like a buff with a kabam oopsie, and we learn the truth behind Marvel Contest of Champions news. Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Monday. We begin with the nightmare that is what KT1 has done. If you don't know, KT1 has released this animation of me. This is the truth behind the Marvel Contest of Champions news. I'm a severed head. It's true. There's nothing attached down there. And there's Frank crawling away. And you can go and check out the video by going to the link in the description down below. And just before we get into the Marvel Contest of Champions news, I just want to do the thank yous, and thank you so much to everybody that supports here on YouTube with YouTube membership and as well Patreon. Thank you so much for helping keeping this channel going. Also, those that support over on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. I should be doing the final finishing parts to Act 6.3.5. 2 more paths left before going to 6.3.6. So look forward to seeing you all later on for that. And as well, those that give the Prime Gaming, the as well Tier 1 subs and bits and donations. Thank you so much for supporting, as I said, and keeping the channel going. Also, before going anywhere, I just wondered to myself, I was looking at this image and going, what if Silver Centurion and Jabari Panther had some kind of like, I don't know, love child? Yeah, it might look a little bit like that. It's beautiful. Also, in more light-hearted and unfortunate comedy news, Slayer of Gods has put together this video. I'm not going to show the full minutiae of it, but it's incredibly hilarious, especially because it charts the progress or non-progress of getting a 6-star Cosmic Ghost Rider. As you know, Slayer of Gods is synonymous for Cosmic Ghost Rider, but has really kind of fallen short when it comes to picking up Cosmic Ghost Rider as a 6-star. And it's funny because a lot of people have ended up picking it up, including myself, and I do feature in this particular video. But also Karate Mike does, there's Seaton, there's Captain Bay, and the list indeed goes on. So it's a funny video, go and check it out, link is in the description. Also, episode 56 of the Contest Round podcast is out. You can go check it out, link in the description. In this particular edition, we go over a lot of the new champs, the problems between having these Marvel Realm and Marvel Contest crossovers, which I probably will make as a separate video because I think that myself and Dan do dissect it pretty well. Our current frustrations and just kind of lack of interest with Marvel Realm currently. And also we do a review of episode 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, which we do an episode in kind of lateness because we don't want people to have spoilers. So that's why we do an episode a week late. In other news, and important to let you know, is that there are going to be some changes to Howard the Duck and Crossbones with content they are in. For example, Howard the Duck will be replaced in 5.1.2 with the nodes removed, recovery node, as it no longer has any effect. And 5.4.5 removed buff durations. But the Crossbones ones I think is incredibly important for those that are pushing for things like Cavalier, and also for those that are doing exploration in Act 6, which I'm doing as well. So 6.1.5 replaced the Vigan buff with Arc Overload 2.0, changed the Link buff from Bane 2 to Bane 1. I'll probably do a video later on today, if not tomorrow, that will just go over, like, you know, post buff. Is this good? Is this to make it easy? How does it feel? Blah, 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 blah. That kind of usual stuff. And then 6.3.5. Now, I've already done this path, which a lot of people have and a lot of people still haven't done. But that's fine, wherever you are in the game. So swap Crossbones for Squirrel Girl. This, I think, is on the Pleasure to Burn Got a Light path in 6.3.5. Which, by the way, if you're thinking about doing it, Cosmic Ghost Rider is absolutely amazing for an SP1 rotation, because I think that's got Power Shield on it as well. So when you do special attacks, it does more damage. That was a pretty fun path to do with Cosmic Ghost Rider. But then we've got 6.4.6. I can't remember if I've done this myself, but it's been replaced Crossbones with Squirrel Girl. And these changes will come into effect today, so they should have already gone live. If these feel problematic, then make sure to let Kabam know, but I think these might be alright. The only other thing is Map 7 and how this impacts. I think it's Pleasure to Burn Diss Track that might be on that particular path. So yeah, like when it's on that variant of rotation where that champion's in, that's something that Kabam still have got to address. Last week they knew about this and they were going to respond to it. I don't know if that is something that they've put in place, but it definitely will be a case that they will have to deal with it quickly, because it will be very unfair to the player when they come to interact with it. So more on that down the line. Okay, now let's talk about the Nova buff. Now, the biggest problem with this is it's not overly seen what the changes are to the champion. I don't know if Kabam had to really hammer home what these, and I think these are value changes as opposed to reworks or kind of ramp ups. So firstly, potency of burst energy damage from SP2 increases 50% to 100%. You think that's great, while his personal unblockable buff is active. Unfortunately, that means effort and work in order to get that up. And as well, at the same time, if the SP2 doesn't kick as much damage as maybe you'd like, you might feel that's pretty weak. But the duration of Fury gained at 75 plus Nova charges increases from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. That gives you a little bit more time to do as much damage as possible. And the potency gain at 75 plus Nova charges increase from 15% to 32%. That could be where things become a little bit more spicier on damage, but it doesn't look like this for players. I think it's always best to see this in action first to kind of cast any judgment, but at the same time, if we are looking for the fact of, well, that seems like a weedy amount of improvement of damage, especially on that Fury potency, then I can relate with people. There was a big mistake Kabam made when it came to their prestige, because that was noted that I think it was like 18,000 prestige, 18,150, and it was like, that would change a lot and change the direction of things. Even the 5-star I think was kind of was kicking a bit higher at 11k. Kabam had addressed, they kind of said like, we'll look into this, we'll address this, and everything now has scaled back to a more kind of believable 10,640 and a 13,680, respectively, of the starage rating. And that's still pretty high, that's still pretty good. And it will be a champion that maybe players will go, well, I might put it up just for the reason of that. I know a lot of people still doing that with Silver Surfer and a whole host of other champions. Dr. Doom being the best one that's very usable and as well very hot to put up with the prestige. Now, because this is a values change, there's nothing really being added it from a case of utility, which is disappointing to a degree, to make this champion, which is considered to be one of the best Marvel characters, to then be given such a weaker champion in game. It's still an ongoing thing, and I hope that Kabam would go back to this champion to re-look at it again for the purpose of adding more, especially if, say, the damage output isn't really there. And Kabam really have to believe in this. This champion will not be tested via the CTP. It will be a case that this will go straight to the live server once the new update comes out. So I won't be able to give you any idea if I think it's good or has any kind of decent improvement. So that's another thing. I think a lot of players are a little bit disappointed with this particular buff and would have liked to have seen more from it. Now, there's something going around that's quite important to mention. Now, I've got here on the red circle, PsychoMan. PsychoMan's very important for a lot of players, which is surprising because I didn't really enjoy him that much. However, there was something that players used which now is considered to be, well, I don't know if Kabam would ever see this as an exploit, but something that maybe doesn't speak in Kabam's favour, which is disappointing. Because even though PsychoMan's not an extensively amazing champion, it's still something that players were using for a means to an end. Now, PsychoMan increased slide back distance on heavy attacks to prevent looping heavy attacks in a corner. Disappointing for some players who were using that particular method. This goes back to that She-Hulk situation where players were using it to, with a quick motion of She-Hulk's heavy attack, you were able to keep enemies at the wall, and it was even better with the buffed abilities. You had this amazing ability to kind of like spam heavies and like keep your damage up and just literally spamming amazing amounts of damage. Not to say you could do that with PsychoMan. There's definitely some things out there that make you go, hey, this is maybe an option, but it's not necessarily the best option. Are you going to spend yourself doing thousands of hits in Abyss and go, oh, this was fun, wasn't it? Absolutely fun. But, you know, look, it's stuff that's not it's in the player's favour, that's been nerfed out of it, and yeah, it's slightly annoying with this. But Kabam have to stop those things they consider to be game-breaking. And what are your thoughts on the PsychoMan situation? Put it in the comment section down below. Were you using him? Were you using this method of spamming heavy attacks? Was it working for you? What's your take on it? Now on to the final talking point, and that is arena results and predictions. Now, all results are difficult to find at the moment because not all the info is available. I'm going to go off of what has been submitted to the Discord, and do bear in mind it is very helpful if you want to submit to the Discord. It just means that if Marvel True Cost hasn't got, you know, the post up and people are talking about, we can't get a full scheme of the result. But from what I know so far from the very people that have submitted, and shout out to Xander, who gives this info here to say that 28 mil was enough for position 284 to get the 5-star, which is good. That came in line with my prediction of 30 mil. But also when it comes to the Red Goblin side of things, this is a problem. Actually, no, it's a solution. I just realized that that is actually what I predicted. I predicted a 2.2 mil. So if you did 2.2 mil, well done. There you go. You got yourself bagged a Red Goblin. So yeah, that prediction was correct. And I'll say that the predictions for last week is the same ones I'm going to do this week, because it just seems like it fits better to go, look, it worked. It'll probably work for the second round as well, because this is a reroll and not a new champion. So yeah, happy days. Well done if you got any of the champions, and well done if you followed any of the predictions. Except for the 4-star massacre, I don't have that info, but I'm sure that's probably right, 6.2 mil. It may be a little bit more, and it may have went a lot lower. In any case, that has been Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Monday. Look forward to seeing you all later on for another video, which will be a Jabari Panther abilities breakdown. That'll be at 1800 hours, 10 AM PST later on today, and then there'll be lots of videos tomorrow and then throughout the week. So make sure you keep locked to the channel and socials and Discord. See you soon. Bye-bye.